Hey, and welcome to an episode of Ancient Shit. That's what we're calling it. We're going with that. So in this one, we're talking about moon foam. Moon foam is a very unique ingredient. We have ideas of what it is and how it's made. But yeah, here I have with me Drawing Down the Moon by Richard Edmonds. It's made mention in this book as an ingredient of the Witches of Thessaly, as well as an ingredient in alchemy. So in one instance, it's talked about as being an ingredient to bring back the living, bring back the dead. And then it's also made mention as being an ingredient used by the alchemist Zosimus to actually transmute silver into gold. This is a passage. Unify Afrosilonos with Comaris, pounding it fine and softening it and making it solid and washing it. Smelt silver and make a projection from the compound, and you will see the silver transmuted into gold, and you will be amazed. Nature rejoices in nature, and nature conquers nature. It's also made mention in the PGM. However, in the PGM it's called a lunar ointment, and you can see this under PGM 7, 862 to 918. Lunar spell of Claudinius. The preparation for Mistress Selene is made like this. So this is part of the spell. Take clay from a potter's wheel and mix a mixture with sulfur and add blood of a dappled goat and mold an image of Mistress Selene the Egyptian as shown below, making her in the form of the universe. And make a shrine of olive wood and do not let it face the sun at all. And after dedicating it with the ritual that works for everything, put it away, and thus it will be dedicated in advance. And anoint it also with lunar ointment and wreath it. So it's that lunar ointment that we can assume, or at least contains, moon foam. But how do we get moon foam? Now that's the interesting part. Moon foam's also called Spuma Lunaris, and spuma meaning roughly the layer of skin that forms on things. So think like that layer of skin that forms on milk, on blood, that type of thing. It's that layer on the top of something. It's also referenced as spuma, which would roughly translate to taking away of that skin to utilize. So we do have some idea of how to actually obtain moon foam, and I think the most cohesive understanding of how to do that is through the Georgics, where Virgil says, "'Twas with gift of such snowy wool, if we may trust the tale, that Pan, Arcadia's god, charmed and beguiled thee, O moon, calling thee to the depths of the wools, nor didst thou scorn his call." We take a white fleece, we take it out on a full moon or on a moon of correspondence to what we're trying to attain, and we let the dew settle into the wool. And it's that dew that forms that frozen layer that is the moon foam. The tale is that Selene finds the fleece of white wool to be irresistible, and it does specify pure white wool fleece. So think sheep, and you want it to be pure white because it almost reflects the beauty of Selene back at herself, and she and all gods love themselves. To see your beauty reflected in something that you look down upon, irresistible for Selene, so hence that. So yeah, moon foam is freeze. It's also described as being a layer that rests upon plants as well. So say you've had a really cold night and there's that freeze that sits over the grass on plants and things like that, you can actually go out and scrape that off, and that would be your moon foam or your Spuma Lunaris. You would mix this dew with your herbs of correspondence, and different herbs would mean and lead to different things. There's also reason to believe that it could be the dew that forms on the plants during an eclipse. Maybe try them all, see what works best for you. So you got the eclipse, you've got the white fleece, and you've got any time where the moon's shining and there's dew forming. But yeah, just a very interesting ingredient that there's not much talked about. So we do have a surviving record of how to craft a lunar paste, but this is from Morocco. So this book was published in 1910 by Emile Morchamp, and it's a book on Moroccan magic. So I'm just going to read a little bit from it. So the day before a full moon, a new, carefully washed kneading trough would be brought to a place of sinister activity, namely any impure place such as a shambles, cesspool, or cemetery, but also the vicinity of a mosque, synagogue, or tomb, especially a saint's tomb, since these would also attract devils. Water is then collected from 7 streams or 7 wells, while calling on the devil to help in pulling down the moon. Then during the full moon, a witch blackens her right eye, paints her right cheek, puts bracelets and rings on her right hand and foot, makes a braid on the right side of her head. Thus prepared, she takes the kneading trough, water and other ingredients to the cemetery, strips naked, and calls on the spirit of darkness to come from the moon. While walking from end to end with a small green pennant on a reed, she then pours the water from the 7 streams or wells into the trough and lights incense with benzoin and coriander on a sheet of metal nearby. At the time of the moon ascends to its zenith and then descends all the way to the trough. There is suddenly a strong wind. The water froths and overflows the vessel. The witch collects the froth into a container and compels it to serve for the good and the bad. When the container is full, the witch puts out the incense and empties the trough, while the freed moon returns slowly to the sky. On her return home, the witch mixes the lunar froth with other substances such as dust, musk, amber, mastic, white benzoate resin. Thus, she creates a kind of lunar paste to serve a variety of magic purposes. What we can gain from that is that moon foam is something that is ritualistically gained rather than something that is harvested from nature, as it would be implied through ancient Greek myth and things like that. There's definitely a way to blend both somehow, and I think that's probably why I personally resonate most with the white fleece, because it's the action, the intention of doing something to gain something in return. I think also as well because with the white fleece we know that it reflects Celine's beauty back at her, and she finds it irresistible to see something so pure white like she appears to us. And I feel like that is very Greek Magical Papyri coded, especially if you were to do that prior to a lunar eclipse leading up, and then through it, and then gain it just before dusk type thing. Obviously there is definitely credence in harvesting the freeze upon plants and things like that, but I think there's definitely something very ancient sorcery about having the white fleece. Maybe there's a way to combine the waters of 7 different streams or wells and pour them onto the fleece and then harvest the freeze upon that. Either way, I think it's a very interesting conversation, and I haven't really seen many people talk about it. So anyway, thanks for listening. Bye!